So it's official, Deadpool 3 will be happening under the Disney umbrella in the year 2024. And Ryan Reynolds also announced that the legend himself, Hugh Jackman, will be reprising his iconic role of Wolverine in the film. Part of me wants to be excited, but another part of me is scared to death what this could mean for both of these characters. Let's discuss. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Words can't express how much Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine has meant to me, both as a comic book fan as well as a movie fan. To me, he truly embodied that role like no one else could, and that is why to this day I can't really see anyone else playing that role. In fact, I don't even want anyone else to try playing that role.
Don't bother.
I'd like to take you back for a second to 2017 when Logan was released, which was originally supposed to be Hugh Jackman's final appearance in the role of Logan. This was a bittersweet experience for me. Bitter because it was difficult saying goodbye to this character that I had spent so much time with. But it was also sweet because the character got the finale that he deserved. It was the type of finale that most characters don't have the luxury of ever having. And the end result, in my opinion, was one of the greatest comic book movies ever created. And I stand by that.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
So when I hear news about Hugh Jackman returning, part of me is excited to see him again. Much like I was excited to see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man again as well. But there is one difference between those two characters, and that's that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man never really had any kind of closure, whereas Logan did. And the thing that we also have to take into consideration is, at what cost are we receiving this return?
That makes sense.
I've been on record many times saying I don't believe that Deadpool 3 will work under the Disney banner as we know it. If their track record has taught us anything, it's that they do not know how to treat edgier characters. And my main concern has always been that they will neuter Deadpool. In fact, I could see them changing his brand of raunchy comedy into something that's more cringe and more in line with what they usually do. And all of this depends greatly on the creative team involved and how much creative freedom they have in creating this film.
Put some effort into it!
Even Multiverse of Madness, which was advertised as a director-driven Sam Raimi production, still had the typical MCU pitfalls in it. And that's why I say that absolutely no one is safe from that dreaded MCU formula. And I think that includes Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who is also decidedly more edgy than your typical MCU character. Let's be honest, the Logan that we know would call the MCU's version of Thor a pussy and keep it moving.
Go fuck yourself, pretty boy.
And I just don't know that the MCU way of doing things is going to translate to a satisfying Wolverine and Deadpool story. If track record means anything in this situation, and yes it does, I would place my money on Kevin Feige and company fumbling this opportunity like they've done so many times before recently. After a couple of cinematic missteps, Wolverine had a perfect cinematic ending. What makes anyone think that the MCU will be able to follow that up in a satisfying way?
Never happened in the States. Never.
If this was happening at any other company, maybe with the exception of WB, who is also a creative dumpster fire, I might be a little bit more optimistic, but as it stands right now, I've just been burnt too many times to allow myself to get too excited over this. And we also have to consider what this means for the bigger picture of the MCU moving forward. Disney basically destroyed 20th Century Fox, and they've done absolutely nothing with those properties that they acquired.
Fuck me, right?
That includes the X-Men movie that we assumed they were very eager to make. Hints have been dropped here and there, but it always looked like the MCU was prepared to introduce their version of the X-Men characters at some point. So what happens now? Is this just a multiverse situation and all of this is happening in another universe? Will they somehow be introducing Wolverine and Deadpool into the main MCU universe? One thing they better not do, for the love of God, please do not have Wolverine or Deadpool passing the torch to a character that nobody gives a shit about.
I don't care!
If people are going to watch this movie, they're going to want to see Wolverine and Deadpool being Wolverine and Deadpool. What they do not want is a poorly written female version of these characters being shoved down their throat. And they certainly do not want Wolverine or Deadpool to be made a fool of just to build up these new characters. Thor, Hulk, excuse me.
Whatever it is that you're offering, We're not into it. Don't care. Couldn't care less.
We've seen this story play out many times before, so don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. So am I happy to see Wolverine and Deadpool again? Yes. Although I can just as easily see them by watching their old movies. Do I have any faith in Disney or Marvel Studios to do these characters justice? Absolutely not. Call me negative if you will, call me pessimistic. I'm just being real, and I'm not going to allow Disney to continue to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. All in an effort to distract people from the fact that they are poorly managing the Marvel brand.
That's right, it stinks!
I would love for Marvel to be what it once was, for them to actually give a shit and produce great content, but in reality, we are a long way removed from that version of Marvel. You see, this is Disney Marvel. This is a completely different animal that has already shown itself to be completely uncreative on a pretty consistent basis. Will the team of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman be able to overcome their incompetence and make something memorable? We'll have to wait and see.
Y'all be cool. Nah.